Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Craft Eccentricity. And I am up again today with Eiffel Store's patterned panel dies that he sent to me. So anyway, yesterday I quickly made this one, which is the oak leaves, and I made a really quick ink blended sort of autumnal opening card. So just to show you that that one does cut out. It's gorgeous detail, really lovely. So I quickly made that one, but today we're going to do an envelope. Right, so I'll move that one out of the way. Oh, and I thank you so much for the wonderful feedback on that peacock card yesterday. So this is the one we're going to use for our envelope. Now all of these are 5 1/8. So what I've got is a sheet of letter size cardstock, just about fitting in there, and it is 5 1/8 wide. If I pop the die on there, you can see it. And now what I'm going to do, obviously it's got to go that way and over to the edge there, is I'm going to go and cut the die so that I've got that design. So we're going to do that to make a very quick envelope, and I'm going to be using my Distress ink, not oxide this time, Distress ink in saltwater taffy. I've got my blendy tool with the foam pad that already matches that on there, and we're also going to tickle around the edges with some of this because I haven't really used it yet. And this is the new foundry wax, which you apparently give it a good shake. Yes, there's a ball in there. I have got a bottle of the silver, and weirdly there's no ball in there, and I keep shaking it and it comes out really thick, so I don't know what went on there. But this one, it has got a ball in it, so we're going to use some of this, and it's called Gilded, but apparently it shows the shine once it's been heated. So we're going to be using those two products to do the flap of this really quick and simple envelope. And I'm also going to use thin tape because you don't want to lose too much of your inside space on the envelope. And this one is from Elena Craft, and I think this one is maybe 3mm. Might be 3mm or 4mm or 5mm. I don't know. I don't even know if my ruler will measure that actually. Hang on. She says dragging it off to the side. And yeah, it's 5mm. So that's the width of that tape. Right. So I'm going off to die cut this, and I will be straight back. Right, I have done that, and it has cut out very successfully. There you go. The whole thing did cut. Flip it over and you can see that. I've got my poke tool here, and like yesterday I've got those little skimpy bits on the edges. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to get my scissors and just snip it off, remove it as neatly as you can, and then the rest of it should just poke out. So I'll poke a few so that you can see, and then I'll poke off camera just to save time. There you go, really easy. So even the little skinny bits, just get in there and pop them out. There you go. Yeah, absolutely happy with that. It works. So I'm going to finish poking and I will be back. Right, so I've poked all that, and just like yesterday I'm just using a straight edge scrap piece of cardstock here to prevent my colour going anywhere where I don't want it to, and I've got it just behind that stitched edge, and I hope I've got it straight. So here is my saltwater taffy, which is a really nice kind of coral pink, and I'm just going to go in and blend that on there. I do love ink blending. There's so many things you can do. I mean, maybe one of the greatest inventions, isn't it? Distress ink. Probably the most purchased item, I would think, in in crafting supplies. I don't think I ever met anyone that doesn't like distress ink. And I might put, just to enhance it, a little bit of black soot on the edge. So that's what that looks like. And sadly, I think on my camera, it's sort of fluorescing bright orange, and it's not. It is not bright orange at all. I promise you. It's a lovely coral pink. So I am going to pick it up, I think, and tilt it into the light to see if it will show true. But that was really, really quick there, as you can see, just to do that bit. And I think I'm just going to pause for a second and get my black soot. Right, so I got my black soot, but this time I'm using oxide, and I've got my blendy doodah foam just to do the edges. Just move that out of the way. Don't want to load my brush too much because oxide inks are really juicy. So I'm just going to put that back into position. I think that's correct. And I think I'm just going to tickle that edge for a minute just to sort of wear the colour down a little bit so that I don't go too dark. And I'm just basically casting a shadow off the edge here. I hope you can see that. And might go a little bit there. Don't want to go over all of it. We're going to use that gold stuff as well. And hopefully it will work. There we go. So that will do for that bit. I'm going to lift this, and we've still got our lovely white cardstock. And I just want to tilt this into the light to see if it will show a truer colour. Trying to think how I move it. That's probably about right, actually. Get in there. Yeah. Sorry about that. I will take a photograph and see if the photograph shows true for the very beginning of the video. Right, I just need to clean my mat and I'll be right back. Right, I clean my mat, but while I'm thinking about it, someone had asked me how I store my blending foams and how I've always got the right colour of blending foam. So basically this is how I do it. In tubes that take up very little space on the shelf, and I just run all my colours down in the tube, and when I turn it that way around I can basically see what is complementary and what isn't. And I do have, I've lost count now, I've got tubes with foams in for all the colours of my distress and oxides, and these are actually oxides. When I do my distress ink, I just put a D on the top. So for the oxide, I just leave them plain, and then my distress will have a D on the top. But these are just the oxide ones that I've grabbed. So that's how I managed to do that. And all you have to do is just take the cap off. You put your blendy tool there, and it will just instantly pick the foam up without, you know, getting loads of yuck all over your fingers. And then because they're sort of like, well, they're not airtight, but because they've got a lid on them, they stay juicy. So most of the time when I grab one, I don't really need to ink it up. There's already enough ink on there. So I'm just going to quickly pause again. Right, now back to our envelope, and we've done the coral, and we've got a little bit of black going on there, so it's a little bit distressed, but we've still got nice clean cardstock. Now I've never used this, so here goes. Now apparently you have to keep your heat source away from the bottle, and it does dry out really, really quickly. So I've watched Tim Holtz do a demonstration of this, and he had it on his mat and he used a brush. I'm just going to use my finger, I think. which you may be allowed to do and you may not, but you know, I've had a good life. So I think they recommend just squeezing out a small amount. Now, did you see how thick that first bit was? This is the problem that I'm having, and I don't know if it's because, you know, I'm in Florida and we've got heat and humidity. I'm just going to dot this around and see what happens. I mean, I might like it and I might not, but it's really, really thick. And the video that I saw, it just was not thick at all. So who knows what's going to happen here. Well, I'm just going to go with a little bit of it. And it is drying very quickly, I will say that. And I want to do that edge there, I think. So I'm kind of being a little bit random because I don't want to hide all the inking that I've just done. There. I'm going to leave it like that. I just want to tidy this bit of mess up and, of course, move that out of the way. And then we'll heat it and see what happens. Right, so here goes. I've got my tatty old heat tool, which is probably older than I am, and this is an original Ranger. I don't think you can get these anymore. If you can, get one, because they're very good, and I hope it doesn't make too much noise, but here goes. I'm just going to hold it down. Ooh, something happened. Oh, can you see that? Ooh. Ooh, that's looking pretty. You might not see it because my heat tool's in the way. But you'll see it in a minute. Oh, that's pretty. Make sure I've got it all. Ooh, can you see that? It went sparkly. I don't know if I got that bit there. It's not rubbing off on my fingers, so hold it in the light. So it is shiny. Oh, I quite like that. I mean, I could have gone over the whole thing, but I'm just going to leave it like that. And I think I've got everything. Ooh, yeah, I like that. A little bit of digression. Right, so you can see there that we've got this, I don't know what you call this, perforated edge, yeah, which is going to make it easy to fold. And once you've done that, you've got this section of cardstock left, and we're just going to fold that up. That makes finding the centre very easy. But first of all, we need to, and because I can't see, I have to hold things like this up in the air so that it's kind of, it's on camera, but it's also towards me, if you know what I mean, so I can find the edge. Now you can see there's a little cut piece there, so we're going to have to be, you know, a bit delicate. Whoop. I'm going to bend that up, put my thumb behind that bit. I hope you can see that. And then push that down. Now, because I have got something quite fancy here, I'm going to score it on the reverse, because I don't know if that gilding would come off if I scraped it, so I'm going to go down there a couple of times. I love these bone folders. I know I'm really naughty, and I honestly, I don't use one very often, but I get all these with my punch boards. Right, let's see what happened. So I've got a little bit of gold there. Oh, I quite like that. It's quite delicate. Now, obviously, doing an envelope, if you wanted to, you can do an envelope liner, and I would suggest always adding a liner after you've folded the card, and just, you know, a little bit short of your inner dimensions, cut it, and then pop it in once you've done that. But as you can see, we've got our folds here, so we can see where we need to come up here, and I would fold just before that fold line, so it just makes doing it really easy. So I'm holding the bottom of the cardstock, as you can see, and I'm going to roll it up towards me, and I want to go just shy of that edge, but I need to be straight. First of all, I'm going to go in with my finger to make sure it's level, and then I can turn it to the side where you can see too, and I'm just going to score it down there, so you can see just how easy that was. But I've left myself a little bit of a lip at the top there, and I hope that I did that straight, so that when you fold down, that is your envelope, and you've got a nice piece of space there, so that any delicate edge isn't getting constantly bashed. So what you can also do, if you need something to be able to get your hand into, you can use a punch or a die to cut a shape out here, so that you can, you know, get your hand in there. But I have left a gap there. Now, I'm trying to think if I should use something or not, and maybe I should. No, actually I won't. I'm going to leave it like that. So I can bend that back to myself, and I can see I just need to put my tape there. Now, as I said, use thin tape so that you're not taking up any space within the pocket, because, or should I say envelope, because you need to be able to get something in there. So the space you should be left with the size of this tape is 4 3/4. That's how long your card can be, which is a great size. Just pull that off there. Right, let's get this bit off. Tuck any scruffy bits in. I'll tuck that bit over, because we don't want that. And then we can just fold that up, make sure that you're creasing the edges, and there you have an envelope. How quick is that? So what I will say about some sticky tapes is they contain resin, and you'll find that the bond is much better when you score and you leave your card for several hours to bond together. And there you have it. Look, you've got your little pocket, and you haven't lost too much space, and then you've got that little bit. I like that. I could get seriously carried away with that. I mean, I didn't do it very tidy here, and I guess, you know, I should have put a bit more of that foundry wax in. But, oh, there you go. Look how shiny that is. Right. So, my envelope. There you go. And you can add your dot of sticky in there. Those balloon dots are great for a quick fix if you're just handing someone a card, and you can pop a balloon dot just under there, and it's that sort of like jelly type glue that you get on credit cards, you know, when you have to rip your doodah off the paper, and it just peels off really easily. So something like that in the middle there, or you could even pop a brad in there, a little flower brad. So you have kind of got a center point that you can use here, which is really nice. So that is the Magnolia one. So the Magnolia envelope, and also the oak leaf little cards that I did, which was really quick. So tomorrow I'm going to come up and we're going to make ephemera pockets using these, which is going to be quite interesting. Right, I thank you so much for joining me today. As usual, have an awesome day, and all links below. Bye.